Yeah, hi, I'm Jeff Williams. I'm a resident of Parkston Poole, and I've joined in the campaign in the last month. I'm only sorry I'm so late. And I joined in because I'm horrified by the decimation of our health service. We're losing the A&E, we're losing our maternity unit, we're losing 200 beds, and we're all going to have to get across the other side of Bournemouth on the forever gridlocked, overloaded A338. So as everybody else, we are horrified. And I think the thing to focus on most importantly, they are taking 147 million out of the budget, or 140 million, and this is every year. And what they're focusing our attention on is the investment, but they're downplaying all the reductions in public services, and it's countrywide. It's so difficult for everyone. And most disappointing of all, really grievous, is Poole councillors unanimously last June voted to support the opposition of residents. They all voted. And then when it came to the December meeting of all the council, representatives from all the councils, Poole, Bournemouth and Dorset, the two representative councillors from our council did not support the motion to refer to the Secretary of State. And that is truly awful. It's appalling. That's Jane Newell and Vishtal Gupta. And we've asked them repeatedly, why did you change from supporting opposition to abstaining on the key vote? So we are effectively a year behind where we could have been if these councillors had stayed loyal to the opinion and the views and the feelings of the people of Poole. So it's absolutely beggars belief.
And what's been the reaction to your letter?
It's been widely circulated. It's on Dorset Eye, I'm very pleased. I had a reply from Tim Goodson, and it's very interesting. He keeps speaking about misinformation. Anything that's critical and calls him to account, he calls very often misinformation or misunderstanding. And I spend huge amounts of time meticulously researching and getting facts accurate. Very important to me. So for instance, he quotes national research which gives evidence that downgrading from A&E to urgent care unit is acceptable and beneficial. But if you read the report from Sheffield University, the professor leading the research concludes that the evidence is very mixed, very ambiguous, there are no conclusions, and all in all it did was give huge distress to the residents in the areas where they're losing the A&E, and he said it's not worthwhile. So everything you pick up, all the details, so many others. The blue light ambulance times they quote in their reports, they use as proxy nighttime travel when the roads are clear, and they consider the ambulances during the day when there's traffic, roadworks, accidents, can travel as fast with the blue light on as they could at night when the roads are clear. So that's, and the other one close to that is one-way distances. One-way distance. When you talk about travel times for ambulances, you're in Swanage, you've collapsed, you need an ambulance. They count the time in their analysis, ambulance response to incidents. They count the time from picking up the patient to getting back to the hospital. They totally ignore the time needed for the ambulance to get out. Now, a councillor in Swanage emailed me, and he is actually a Conservative councillor. He's deeply concerned, as many are in all parties, and he said he knows firsthand a case where a lady collapsed in Swanage, and they waited 3.5 hours, I think he said, or 3.5, and she died. It just beggars belief, it really does. And that's before these changes come in. So Debbie is quite right to go through meticulously all the reports, and it's right to say people will die, people will suffer. The government, through the CCG, is hugely decimating our National Health Service, and more than that, they're doing it almost by stealth, pretending it's not happening. And I've said to everybody, I consider this to be Beeching 2 for the 1960s, when they took up a third of the rail tracks in the country, and to this day we despair that we've lost all those railways. Once Poole A&E closes, it will never come back. When the maternity unit closes, they will sell off the building and land, as they've done in Upper Parkston. They've sold off one of our surgeries. We're down to 1 of 2, and then they've sold off the car park for the parking for the 1 surgery left. The more you read, the more you're horrified.
Final question. Have you contacted Robert Sims, the MP, because he's been very silent for the last 2 years on this particular
Yeah,
issue?
the reason is I understand he's actually gone on a world cruise. That's my best information, because he cannot be contacted, and that's what I think. He's just taken off on a world cruise. Now that's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it wouldn't surprise me. CCG is saying that the Link Road and Wessex Field to connect in Wessex Fields to connect with the hospital is going to alleviate all the congestion. But the Environment Agency have put in huge opposition to Bournemouth Council on building a link road and developing Wessex Fields. I would say the likelihood of this happening is very low indeed. And the reason is it's the Stour River Valley floodplain. We live in an age of climate instability, climate warming, more flash flooding, rising rivers, and for all those reasons the Environment Agency is saying no to the link road, which means if we do end up with A&E over there and maternity, urgent medical units, we are facing 1 hospital with these units on a floodplain with rising sea levels and flash flooding.